Hello, I'm Shihab Ratansi in Washington. Here are the main stories brought to you by Al Jazeera. US President Barack Obama says it's time to give millions of people a path out of poverty. Speaking at the Millennium Development Goals Summit in the United Nations in New York, he pushed for the idea of sustainable development. Obama said decades of aid development, though, had led to a cycle of dependence, and that fighting poverty should be a mutual effort between aid-giving and receiving nations. A UN Human Rights Council investigation into Israel's deadly raid on a Gaza-bound flotilla has said the military broke international law. Israel says its soldiers acted in self-defense when they shot dead 9 activists aboard the Mavi Marmara. The ship was in international waters at the time. The 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council and Germany say they're open to renewed negotiations with Iran. Iran's president has also called for dialogue, saying that it must be based on respect and justice. And US State Department spokesman PJ Crowley spoke with Al Jazeera on Wednesday.
President Ahmadinejad has said some potentially constructive things since he arrived here at the United Nations. The real issue is he willing to pick up the phone, call Lady Catherine Ashton of the EU, and set a date and a time? We're prepared to engage, as are other members of the so-called P5+1, and that was what was reaffirmed today.
In Iran, 12 people died in a bomb attack on an armed forces parade. The blast injured at least 75 others in the northwestern city of Mahabad, not far from the borders with Iraq and Turkey. And one official blamed the attack on Kurdish separatists, but no one claimed responsibility for the blast. In southeast Yemen, 4 government soldiers have been killed in clashes with fighters. The army's moved into the Shabwa region with tanks and armored vehicles. More than 100 suspected al-Qaeda fighters are allegedly hiding there, but thousands of residents have now had to flee the region to escape the fighting. Scientists say they've discovered the fossils of 2 new dinosaur species in the southern Utah desert. Both were closely related to the Triceratops. One had 15 horns on its head. Scientists made the discovery in the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument. More than a dozen new dinosaur species have been discovered around the monument over the past decade. And those are the top stories. You can always keep up to date with the news on our website. The address, aljazeera.net/English.